Hey there, Stephanie Joy with all things Social Security and the law practice of Joy Disability. Here's a short little segment from our recent live stream Q&A that we have every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the YouTube channel, All Things Social Security. Enjoy, and if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comments, and I will be sure to get to them. Thanks so much. Bye-bye now. Hi, guys. Por favor, let me know if you can hear me. Should be fine, but I'd like to make sure. Can you hear me? How are you guys doing? How was the week? I see we have Kevin Johnson was first in the house. Hi, Kevin. From Morristown, Tennessee. George Graham, good to see you. Punta Gorda, Florida. Kathy from North Carolina. Nice to see you, Kathy, again. Matt F. I don't know if we've met. Hello from Virginia. Hello back at you from PA. Kosherish says, I'm step 3, listing approved at 53. Listing approved, that's good. Now 55, I'm full of useful information. I am sure you are. Message me and say, this is what I would like to talk about. And we could do a pre-recorded if you prefer. Or, it's up to you. Now, think hard about the listing too. I don't know what yours is. Let's say it was blindness, listing level blindness, and there is no cure. And we don't anticipate one. I would feel more comfortable with something like that. But sometimes listing level things do have recoveries. So the listing level gets you the win without having to prove your RFC at that moment. Do you have a DLI? Not a DLI, a diary date? Oh my gosh, the dates are on my brain. A diary date, Coach? Because if you do, that's when they're, and if it's 5 to 7, safer. If it's 3, they expect you to improve, so definitely look at all those things. Little nutty thing. Okay, AJ is in the house. AJ Moore. I don't think we've met AJ. Nice to meet you. AJ says, I'm confused because all my payments show SSI back pay, but SSI has said that I'm not eligible due to my SSDI being too high. So why does it keep saying SSI instead of SSDI? I wouldn't know because I don't know what you're looking at, but it would be true that if you have a high enough income, you're not going to get the SSI welfare income too, right? That's for the people that don't have that. It's to, help them. And we can't be giving it to everybody who's got it already. If you're not getting SSI, it's because your SSD exceeds what SSI would give you, all right? And sometimes it exceeds by triple, and sometimes it exceeds by $50. But it doesn't matter, it exceeds. So you're already getting what would be needed for SSI, you're getting it from your SSD. Now, I don't know if this is what you're potentially dealing with. If you are waiting, if you just won, and if you had months that you were not going to get SSDI for, the first 5 months of SSDI disability are not payable. It's the waiting period, AJ. If you had the SSI application in at that time, let's say you did it concurrently with your SSD application, you would get 5 months of back benefits for SSI. So they might just be figuring out what those are. They got to make sure that your perk interview, all your financials during those 5 months were in line for you to be able to get it. We know you didn't have SSDI during those months. So was there anything else? Did you have a working spouse that made too much? Did you own, or with regard to resources, did you have a second car in your name that's going to make you disqualified, or a piece of real estate in your name that you don't live on? Those things would be things that would disqualify you if you still had them. If you were renting out a room and getting income from that, depending on how much it was, that could disqualify you from SSI because you have that income. So all sorts of things to think about. If you have a 401k that's going to boot out SSI, so you spend it. People had to scoot. I'll catch the replay later. Thanks, Dipple. Good to see you. I'll talk to you soon. Coach says, I don't know which listing I met, although several were possible. I'm a 3-year cycle, to keep robust with your treatment, right? Not necessarily as robust as when you were fighting for it, but 3-year means they expect you to improve. So, you might want to get your DDE, Kosher, Disability Determination Explanation. You can get it from your field office. They should be able to email it to you, or they should be sending people this automatically when they prevail. Or when they are denied. It should be attached to the letter. It drives me crazy. I don't know if they just, they're more transparent than they were. I know last year we got in where now we attorneys and non-attorney reps who have access the electronic file, they now, as a general rule, put in the DDE on initial when the person gets denied or awarded, and on reconsideration, award or denial. In the past, prior to that, and the DDE is very, very, very useful for strategy, seeing exactly what happened, where in our mind, where their misinterpretations of evidence came in, and we know what to fight then, right? It used to be up until, like a year ago, where we could, I think it was last June, it's a year ago, where we could not get our hands on that until we appealed for an ALJ hearing. You really want that way before. That helps us guide our people even better on initial and recon. So hopefully they can win on recon if they were denied on initial. But, so we do have access now. We're trying to get access to more sections of the file. I personally think we should have access to every SSA letter that came out of the field office or the payment office or everything else. It should all be in that electronic file. Because not everything is about medical. A lot of it, a lot of cases, it is about overpayments and this and that. And, we should just be able to see it all. The rationales, everything. That would be transparent. Who doesn't agree with that? Gina says, sorry, was asking if my survivor benefits would always be reduced because I claimed mine plus. You can't get two people's benefits at once. So they can't stack them, Gina. You're going to get the highest benefit you're eligible for. So each benefit eligibility is a one-person thing. You can't have two of them. You can have the maximum, and then sometimes if that means you're taking more from the spouse and your own, you can take less from the spouse's maximum benefit because yours is going to be taken to get you up to here, and then the spousal will be whatever is going to be, because his spousal was bigger or survivor was bigger, that'll be tacked on top. It's important to know that because with the family max, if there's a child under that spouse collecting a dependent benefit, you taking from that would then potentially, you both couldn't take your full amounts that way. But thankfully you get yours, and then whatever would have been the amount you get from his maximum, his family pot. But yeah, you can't get two. And it's really important to know this, guys, because when two married people are each collecting retirement benefits or disability or whatever, and one dies, too many widows and widowers have no idea that now that stream of income from the other person's retirement is going away. If that other person's was bigger than them, yes, they could switch to a spousal survivor, but they're not going to be able to have both. You get one person benefit per perk, you know what I mean? So I've seen people then not be able to pay their mortgage because they didn't plan for that, because they thought that even though their spouse is deceased, they're going to keep collecting his benefit plus their own. It's not so. Yeah, so your research is starting to tell you right, Gina. You get one benefit, you can choose the biggest one, and obviously you're going to. And that's the benefit of multiple streams. The survivor benefit when you're disabled is very useful too for a spouse who never had a work record that would get her SSD. It could be a remote. I have a case like this right now. It could be a remote. She has a remote DLI. Maybe she stopped working, raising the kids, and then she gets disabled, can't get SSD, but then God forbid the spouse passes away, and now she's disabled. She could get if she's between 50 and 60 at least, not under 50, she could get a disabled widow's benefit for being disabled when she couldn't have got it on her own non-existent record or reduced, insufficient own record. So that's where the SSD is most of value for someone who has been disabled but couldn't get it under their own record, and their spouse has been supporting them, and then their spouse passes away, and now they're like, up Schitt's Creek. And that's spelled CHIT, guys. I'm not cursing. I am trying to curb my truck driver colorful language. You guys don't hear too much of it at all. But my daughter says it's blasphemous. I don't know if I agree, depending on how you use it. But I'm just excited that she's kind of getting into learning things and self-improvement and stuff like that in a particular vein. And so I figured, all right, I was a little resistant at first. It's like a week ago. And I'm like, what's it going to hurt me? What is it going to hurt me? So I keep apologizing all day long because when something goes on here, I have multiple screens here. It's like, and I'm working on this and I'm working on this. I usually have multiple projects up at one time. And I'm so used to flipping out words and stuff like that. I'm alone in here except for Tasha and my tortoise. But yeah, I'm like, all right. So I do a quick, it's amazing because I'm getting more and more conscious of it because I'm apologizing every time I do it. And sometimes I'll apologize and then I'll say another one in my because I'm so used to it. I don't know. Any colorful sailors here? Colorful speaking, I should say. Kosher says, what's the best way to get the info on which listing? You're going to want to go exactly what I just said, your DDE. You probably posted this before I said it. Maybe not. Yeah, probably. Your DDE, contact the field office. You might have to fill out a 3288, which is a pain in the rear. And just ask for that one document. You could actually ask for your entire file, and they have to give it to you, even though they might say they don't. But your DDE, if you just ask for that, sometimes they take like 3 months to get it to you. It's very inappropriate, but I would definitely get that. I think everybody should get that win, lose, or draw. Everyone. Kosher says, I have multiple big issues. My fear is that the official one improves. All your impairments made up it's not just all of your impairments are part of it. So you think you may have won on one listing, but that doesn't mean all the others. Let's say you fell short a hair on that listing. You might still, with all the others, equivalent of a listing in meaning, or flat out win on RFC. So don't be too fearful about it. But I think it's really important for you to know, I do analyses on those sometimes for people because it can be a little Greekish because it's the way they lay it out. It's at a JC. JC22 is in the house. You're from New York, JC. Any tips for disabled adult child SSI recipient? Okay. So you're getting DAC plus SSI, or do you just mean DAC? Converting to, so you haven't, okay. You haven't won the DAC yet. You're trying to get the DAC now that you're probably eligible due to some event with a parent. Oh, yeah. This is the crux, guys. He's saying, how do I prove DAC when my medical records from when I was before 22 are not available? Been on SSI since age 17, not 47. Ooh, that's not horrible. I haven't researched this, but they found you disabled as a child. Certainly before age 22, because you've been on SSI since age 17, and then you went for a redetermination at 18. You might not remember this, to make sure you met the adult definition of disabled, not just the child. So, sorry, I'm just trying to fix this. And you're now 47. Okay. They've been giving you some version of a CDR all along. They still find you disabled. I think there's a good chance you're going to get it. Because, the argument should be, and I don't know if this was affected at all by the res judicata ruling, which I have not done all the research on, guys. So I can't really speak to exactly how it worked, but because they tweaked it in some way. But if they've been saying you've been disabled every year since 17 years old, how can they now say you haven't proved that you were disabled before age 22? And that's where I think that whole collateral estoppel should be holding out. I don't know if that's what the law says. Collateral estoppel, res judicata, whatever. They could say, if they look at evidence now and say, well, he's not even treating now, we don't think he's disabled now. That's a different story. But the proof, that should be, and again, I'm not sure if the law has caught up with the logic here and the common sense of it all, but that should be the way it is. Yeah, CDR, if they say you haven't been treating, therefore there's no proof you still are disabled, that's fine, that's fair. Obviously keep treating there, JC. But I would be arguing that no, every year they have approved his claim. It's a monthly claim if you think about it. You just don't have to do anything about it. Every month you have to be disabled. They've said he was disabled. All those months through 22 and every month since. This would be my vigorous argument. And I would be looking up that, whatever that new tweaky thing was. It was recent. Coacher says, didn't get a DDE. And when I called SSA, got a guy that said he wasn't supposed to tell me like a secret. That was just an ignorant, lazy poop. It's like, ridiculous. Not supposed to tell me. You know what it is? He's not really supposed to be looking, spending time. What he should have done is sent it to you. So you can ask for a copy of the DDE. They might say, well, fill out the 3288. So then go fill out 3288 and you can get it. And I would if I were you. You're leaving like dander all over my keyboard. I bought a little vacuum though. My machine is too expensive not to. JC says, now parent retired, but DAC denied because old medical records no longer available. Oh, man, that is so important to figure out. I'm going to write this down because it's not like I have time, but I want to make time. I do a lot of 11 p.m. research projects, guys. I'm a little nuts. Hold on. I'm just writing down your thing. And did you get a medical workup or did it ever not go to, you need to appeal that. If that's a medical finding that we can't, I would appeal. If it says you almost have to appeal it. I'm not sure if that would be a medical finding of this, of not disabled 22. It sounds like it would be. So read that denial letter. DAC denied despite SSDI 2 records not available. The funny thing is, they should have those records, right, JC? They had them when you were 17. How did they approve you? How did they approve you on at 18? You meet the adult standard. And every CDR since. That is so. I'm sorry. I'm so angry for you. I'm really angry for you. But it is something I always say too. This is particularly important for parents that don't have an SSI child. Keep those medical records. I know. Who thinks about it, right? Who knows? I don't even know. Did DAC exist 30 years ago? I actually don't know when it came about. All right. If I get time, JC, I am going to try to see if I can find something. All right. If I do, at the very least, I would do a post. And it would probably be under the general post under the channel because I'm not going to stick it under some remote one of the thousands of videos because you'll never find it. All right. Bye.